Well, today's the 26th of August 2024 and we're in England now. In fact, we're a medieval village. We're in the 17th century and the tree behind us is actually 600 years old. Can you believe it? 600 years old. Wow.
Massive.
Well, we go off walking now.
That's chunky, that is.
They must be the young ones there. Look at those. They're not very old, are they?
Yeah, they're like tiny.
600 years old.
If this was a tree, tiny.
So we're in the Alva Valley near to Gosport.
Well, fresh ass.
And what they've done here is they've reconstructed a village and village life from the 17th century.
I'm not sure you would like them.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
And really nice.
We could be heading up into Robin Hood country, except we're in the wrong part of the world. That tree. Stunning. I forgot to bring my camera with me. I'd like to photograph that. Well, we arrived this morning. We landed at about 8:15 this morning. We landed from Mallorca, and it's a beautiful day and a nice, nicely refreshing.
In your hole. How old do you think that tree is?
Well, I don't think it's as old as the other one, but it's pretty old. But look at that growing up the side of it.
It's tall and it's big. Oh! What is this? No exit. Please use top rope. Oh! Oh, can we go look at this one, Mummy?
Oh, is that for the naughty boys?
Yeah, what? Wait,
The stocks.
Sit on it and put your, I guess you put your
Arms and legs in.
arms.
Big stretch.
Wait, what? You're... No, I don't.
Put them through. Go on. Go on.
Dad, what happens if it hurts?
It won't hurt. It won't touch
Doesn't
you.
hurt.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to stay there all day now.
Some nice little carvings up here on the side of the stocks. Just keep up. And now we come into the village. She's got the different buildings where village life took place, and we're going to find out a little bit about that village life. All thatched cottages.
Look around.
So that's your. This is your.
Class be here today?
Not too far.
No?
No.
Those two have.
Oh, yeah, those two.
We come from Mallorca.
Mallorca? Where on earth is that, mistress?
Spain.
Spain.
Spain?
Is that the enemy?
Not me.
Not quite, but very recent.
Not me and my mum. Not me and my mum, though.
No.
We live here.
Indeed. And did you? How did you get here today? Did you use your feet? You took a cart?
No car.
A cart?
Yeah. No car.
What's a car?
That's a cart without the T, isn't it?
So how many wheels does a car have then? Well, that's the same as a cart. And what drives it?
Either electricity or fuel.
Fuel. Well, we have fuel, but our fuel is wood. So maybe that's not.
Would you put wood in a car?
Do you put wood in your car to drive it? No? Oh, I'm not sure I know what one of those is then.
We came on an aeroplane.
Now I wouldn't even know where to start with that, mistress. An aeroplane. Well, we have planes, but they're for smoothing wood.
And what are you doing there?
You're going to plait that.
We're going to make some cord, some attractive looking cord. So you can probably see just by looking at us that we use lots of cord for lots of things. So where can you see cord on my clothing?
There.
Yeah, so we've got lacing here. And we've got some up here. And even if I took this off, which I'm not going to because I'm a modest, respectable woman, my hair is plaited with it and tied around the ends. And then we have some here, we've got some there. So even on my belt, some of these could be, oh yes, actually you've got a pocket on your belt, haven't you, that's got some. So it's very useful stuff. And we can make it all pretty as well, look. So we can do it in lots of different colours, lots of different styles. You've got flat ones and round ones and plaited ones.
And how do you colour them?
Well, we use dyes that have usually come from plants.
Okay.
And if you go up later, if you go up to the house there, you might see lots of coloured wools hanging on the wall. Each of those have a little tag at the bottom that tells you what's been used to make that. So this is what we're about to do, is called finger loop braiding. So you start with however many loops the pattern requires, and you tie the dead ends at the top so that you end up with loops at the bottom that you stick your fingers through. So you can see in this one I've still got the loops in the bottom. So you end up with them like that, and then the other set on the other hand, and then there are certain ways that you weave them. You can do all sorts of different things.
Do you do knitting as well?
I don't personally knit, mistress, but the lady up in that house, I believe, is knitting something as we speak.
You might get a job here.
You're always welcome. Oh, it might be a bit way to travel, a long way to travel though.
Yeah.
Right, if you lay that one down next to those so that they will start and finish at the same time. Hold that one as well. You can take that one, yeah. Lay that along with those ones. So we're just passing the time of day at the moment because, of course, we don't like idle hands. We aren't very rich, and so if we can spend our time making a bit of extra coinage, then of course that's what we're going to do. But my usual trade is as a peddler. If I take those from you, thank you. So usually I'm travelling about the country and buying and selling things as I go. So you can see that I've got lots of second-hand clothing on my cart, and then I sell things like these, which are colourful and attractive, and I travel from place to place.
And do you constantly travel?
Constantly travel, so I don't have a house.
Yeah.
I'm just travelling all the time, so sometimes I'll go into London because there are lots of trinkets and novelties, things that people out in these sorts of places won't have seen before, and so I can bring those out, and then of course they don't know how much they're supposed to cost because they've never even seen them.
So you can charge what you like.
So I can charge what I like.
So where do you sleep if you don't have a house?
Well, there's a very fine ale house behind you, Master. Aye. Called Phoenix, and I'm very good friends with the ale house keeper there, because of course when I arrive and I've got all my stock with me and I've come from distant places with all the news of the time, then of course I draw a crowd as well. I have all the new songs to sing and news of hanged men and their last words in London and Tyburn Hill and all that sort of thing, and of course I'll tell you all about it, but for a price, because my throat's getting a little dry actually, and a pot of ale would go down very well.
We must investigate.
And so I can make my living without any coinage crossing hands at all. In fact, we prefer it that way because there's a very large shortage of coins at the moment, especially the small ones, which is the ones that everyone uses. And so if you bring something to me that you want to sell to me and I see the value in it and I have something that you want, then we'll agree how much of one and the other is worth how much of the other, and we'll swap. And then of course, because it's no good me having a pocket full of coins but nothing left to sell, so if we can swap and then I've still got something to sell on my cart, then it just cuts out one more transaction that I have to do. So
Right, thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very
you're
much.
very welcome.
Very interesting.
Good day
We'll
to
move
you.
on.
Well, aye, that is a good question. So
The only barrels are one over there.
Okay.
Their
in the
size.
past it has been
Pitkin,
safe.
Kilkin, Firkin.
There are lots of soldiers on the
They
roads
go up.
at the moment.
They go
There's
2,
lots of unrest.
4,
We kick the parliament.
8, 16, 32, 64.
Will calm down. But at the moment. Now that can be a good thing.
So, that's what we call a box frame house. So if you look at this one, look, it's in 6-foot sections.
Oh, yeah.
6 foot, 6 foot. And if you look at the other end, it's not finished because there's going to be another 6 foot.
Sort of abandoned husband in the pub.
Have you?
You have to go back and get him.
Yes.
When you can hear him singing really soft.
Walnut shells. What is a walnut? Woodwell. Wood.
So, getting a black marked piece of cloth is a disaster. If you're fortunate, you may know somebody who'll buy it off you a bit cheap, you know, without telling anyone. Or your wife might be able to cut round the black bits and make something out of what's left. But on the whole, if it's black marked, you've got to get rid of it some other way. So it's very important that it's correct. And the weaver has to know all these patterns in his head. If mistress comes in and says she'd want a length of cloth because she'd want the tailor to make her new cart. Oh, you came in a cart?
No, car. Car.
Now, you mean a cart, which is a piece of wood with 4 wheels on and a horse in front. You know, cart.
Yeah, car without a horse.
From medieval times, the 1600s.
Yeah.
That's why we've never
Look
heard
at that
of
one big tree.
it. Wow.
That's one tree.
I like these. Yeah, they're lovely, aren't they?
Gently, Mia. Mia. With an N.
Near.
Mia.
MIA. Oh! Good.
It hit the door.
Well done.
My name's Michael. I've got my flint here, learning how to sew. Because I'm a sailmaker, so I sew things. I've sewn this bag. Is this your mum?
Yeah, that's
She's got to look at this stitching and say, goodness me, that's good.
Beautiful stitching.
Thank you. And now
And you're learning.
I'm making a ball, because we don't have rubber balls. It hasn't been invented yet. So if you want to take a look at that,
How can you make a ball?
like this. So I'm sewing it together, and I've sewn that one, and then I will stuff it full of. Would you like to show them some of the feathers?
Oh, is it this one that's got feathers? That's why I'm getting covered in
We've
feathers.
got a bag of feathers,
Oh.
so we should stuff it with feathers.
And that's why I'm getting covered in
That's why.
feathers.
You can see they're all over the place.
I didn't realise I was getting
because
covered
we
in
didn't
feathers.
we didn't
because of that.
always do all the work. Sometimes we had time to play games, and so with your parents, they're going to show you how to play these games.
Oh, see the horseshoes down there.
So the horseshoe goes on that red peg,
Yep.
and that doll's called Aunt Sally, and you have to throw the sticks and see if you can knock her off.
Ooh.
So what would you like to have a go at?
Horseshoe.
Have a go at the horseshoe. Hello.
Can we have a go
Right,
at
so you've got to throw that and make it land on the peg
How are
over
you
there.
supposed to do this?
You've got to hit the doll, right?
Horseshoe.
Like that. Throw it like that.
Like
That's
a
it.
frisbee. Yeah.
Alright, right, have another go.
See,
No, no. You just throw it the other way. That's it. That's closer.
I'm not going to get it on, but
Whoa.
Sounded heavy.
because it is heavy.
Well, you're consistent. You're consistently to the right.
Maybe one step that way. No, not forward, to the side.
This way.
Now do it.
There we go. Oh, look at that. You're inches off there.
Your young man is actually very...
Right, this is going to have a go now. Show us how it's done. Oh, a bit short there, dear. Oh, getting closer.
Very close.
Oh, so close.
Brother,
Oh, on.
you can't get it in there.
Oh.
When you've got practice with heroes, you can do it with...
Comes back, that one did.
What's your
Oh,
name?
watch out, watch out.
Made out of?
Whoa.
This is flat.
The needle.
Oh, it's a steel. It's a steel.
Oh, comes back as well.
Would you like to explain what's different about it?
Well, normal needles are
peg.
round,
Oh, watch out, Joe.
where
No, it's okay.
if I
Carry on.
Cellmaker can
get a piece of material, there you go.
Oh,
It's triangle.
Oh, right.
Bounced off.
And stop every time.
oh.
Well, as a family, you're very good
pretty
at hitting the
close.
target.
Try again.
In the
Oh, close again.
so that makes me thread goes so easily.
So the bit of the thread, the bigger you have to have the needle. Where's most of your needles?
Brother.
Is it even possible?
Well, I think we're consistently bad at this.
I'm knitting at the moment.
I'm a big knitter. I do lots of knitting.
I'm knitting stocking garters to hold
Yeah.
my stockings up. And guess what you knit them in? Garter stitch.
Yes, that's why it's called garter stitch.
And
Yeah.
my stockings, of course, I knit in stocking stitch. But garter stitch is
Yes.
wonderful because it stretches.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a mark on your legs. It'll stay on all day, keep your stockings up all day, and it doesn't cut into you. It's just taking it all off, and it can see how it's tangled it all up.
The little girl was doing it.
Yes, well, this is it. It's lovely to do, but then it takes me ages to undo it. So then I can't spin with it because I've got to get all the knots out. But what happens here is the sheep's wool. Oh, there's one of my combs down there on the floor. Oh, thank you. That's a comb. When the sheep's wool comes from the sheep, we cut it off the sheep, but it's only like cutting its hair. It doesn't hurt it. And then we put it in the river to wash it. But it still keeps a lot of the grease in it, which is good. But it comes off like that. That's on the sheep, and that's what's hanging down. But can you see it's got all these pointy bits on the end? Well, we've got to get all those out because we want it to be smooth and all go in the same way with no pointy bits. And if you keep pulling at it, there you see.
How did it just went like that? How?
Well, if I'm just pulling it apart, feeling it out, pulling it out at the ends.
A lot of patience.
And if you've got to do a lot of that, it takes a long time. So we use carders that comb it instead. So that gets it out much faster. So if I've got a piece of wool, let's take a piece off this one. Right, there's my piece of wool. And I've got it all nice and straight. Right? But I want to make clothes with that. And it's got to be strong enough for me to knit with it or to weave it. So you get hold of that end. Now pull.
Oh dear. That's not going to be very good then, is
It's
it?
not much good, is it?
We've got a minute for this.
Do you know how we make it strong? We twist it. You twist yours. You see, it's just between my fingers and my running them up and down, just to twist it up. Right, there we are. I've twisted mine. You twisted yours a bit? Yeah. Right. Hold that end now. I'll hold that end of yours. Where it's been twisted, you twist it a little bit more. Run it through my fingers a little bit more. Now it does look a bit more like yarn, doesn't it? Right, now pull.
Go.
It's really strong now, isn't it?
That's
When you
better,
twist it,
isn't
it
it?
becomes strong.
Very, very, very.
So that's why we've got to twist it. And then to make it even stronger, we twist two together. And if we got two twisted together, that's 2-ply. And you can twist 3 together or 4 together to make it thicker and stronger.
So that's why it's called 2-ply, 3-ply and 4-ply wool. And chunky.
Yeah, that's just thicker. But yeah, 12 yards of wool, wouldn't it, to make a piece of cloth? We can't waste time like that. So all over the years, people have been learning how to twist it quicker. And they have drop spindles, which is a round whirl on the bottom on a piece of wood, and you can twist it and you feed it in and it makes it quicker. And that's what the spinning wheel does. What it's doing is spinning the wool, and as it's spinning it, it's winding it on here. And can you see? There it looks strong yarn. So that's what we do.
That's what the spinning is.
And we take all of these are plants that we've got growing round, all except for this one. This one is called cochineal, and that's from a beetle. But I do buy the beetles from the peddler. This yarn has all been spun, and it's spun this colour. But then we get a big pot, and in it we will boil up different vegetables or plants or roots, and we know what colours to dig up because we know what they do. This one up here, for instance, that one's onions. That's the skin off your onions, and you put a pile of onion skins into the water, and then do you know what you've got to add to it? Urine from the piss pot, which has all been collected in a barrel at the end because you cannot do dyeing yarn without it. That's what stops it, fixes the dye, stops it all running out again. The blue is woad, then there's woad and weld, that's 2 mixed together to make the green. The yellows, that one's weld tops, so that's the yellow that's mixed with the blue to come up with the green. That one's madder. I love madder colours. These are all madder.
What is madder?
Madder is a root plant that you dig the root up. You can use the leaves and they give you a much lighter colour, but you chop up the root and boil that up. But the interesting thing is that's not enough. You can have exactly the same amount of wool. exactly the same amount of madder, exactly the same amount of water, using the same pot on the same fire. Do it in the morning and it'll come out one shade. Do it in the afternoon, it'll come out a different shade. And that's because the sun's shining in the morning and it's not shining in the afternoon. And
Oh, it's the pub.
You can stay in my room on the floor. You don't have to sleep with them. They'll be responsible. You have to start the fire in the morning, get the oven hot, and get the bread going.
And you always have to keep the fire alive.
Why? You always need firewood. How are you with an axe?
Oh, not good. I've never tried an axe.
Oh, it'll come with time, I suppose. Then always, but you need plenty of this stuff, kindling. Sometimes you need lots of fire to get it boiling like I'm doing here. I go through that like nobody's business. You could do that, and then when you can serve the beer as well.
If I wanted to do all that.
I would feed you.
Yeah, you get fed and watered.
Fed and watered. You could drink as much beer as you wanted.
Which is much better in my opinion. So what we've got here is a double action bellows. So what happens is with this, when we pump this, the air gets sucked up from the bottom one, goes into the top one. And the trick is to keep the top one with air in it while you're working it to make it easy. See, I'm not working too hard doing that. So my apprentice wouldn't work too hard, that's about it. So what that basically does is it funnels the air down through a chewer hole and comes down into here, and it basically superheats the coals up. So instead of it being at, say, I don't know sure about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, it goes up to 1,000 degrees plus. We broke the thimble, we broke the thermometer in it when we did it. Now, so close to smelting with it, we can smelt. We've got another set of double actions up there that need new levers. They're just stored up there at the moment. But if we put them on this side and then join the two bars together, 4,000 degrees.
Wow.
So you're now looking at smelting. But health and safety is at your time. They get a bit jittery. So we don't do it. But we want to, but we can't. We want to, but we're not. But we want to, but we're not. So just do it. So originally it was a charcoal furnace, basically a charcoal forge. So that's why we've got the stonework on the bottom. Now at some point between King Henry VIII and the Queen Elizabeth, things changed because they had a big thirst for building ships. So charcoal became very expensive. So we moved over to coal. Hence the Tudor brickwork, as the change from the two to that. So now we're looking at doing this sort of thing, so it's now coal. Coal comes in from the sea, we call it sea coal, but it's not dug up out of the sea, it just comes in by sea. So the 17th century, the canals weren't built then, so everything either come in by sea or by land. So the quickest way to get it here would be by sea from the coalfields up north. So that would come into Gosport or Portsmouth area, and it would then filter through to us. So it would have been an expensive commodity at the time, but it would have been cheaper than trying to get charcoal at the time. Same with our iron and steel. That would come, the best iron and steel came from Sweden or the Forest of Dean in this country. So if it had come round the hook round Cornwall, it can be quite treacherous. So more than likely where we are here, it probably came from Sweden, the best quality. Now, the not so best quality came up through from the Ruhr, so Holland and Germany. And also we got not so good quality as well, came up from Spain. Now our relationship with Spain at the time, or for the last 100 odd years at the time, was not that great. So I'm going to suspect that it was dribs and drabs from Spain. but I reckon we probably got most of it from the German and the Dutch and the Swedes. Partly also the reason is because the Dutch, the Germans and the Swedes were also Protestant nations. So you're going to trade with each other, aren't you? So, and being Spain being, I don't want to say it, but uber flipping Catholic, they're gonna be less in turn to give you some quality materials. So my apprentice here, Toby, is now just
being a dimwit.
No, he's not. He's just having he's now making a little curl to start making his. It's not. So you see, it's gone to like a red colour, but it's almost a dull metal red. Poor blacksmith, you know. He's just what do you think? Yeah. I'll try getting old Dave about it. But... You ready?
Yeah. Right then.
Whoa.
Get it back in the fire again, I reckon, don't you?
Get it right.
Thin layer of blister steel across the top. So this is a nice bounce on that one, and this one. Now, these aren't cast in a sandbox. So you see what we've been doing with this bit of metal? We're beating it together, but it's sparkly. That's the welding heat. So that's how this was made. How we were demonstrating how that's happening. So this would have been like four blacksmiths. And you can look, there's lines down here and stuff like that. That's where it was just one lump of iron. And they beat them together with this sparkly metal heating. And that's a forged welding heat. So this is why Zach here is Tobias. Got too many Tobiases or Tobys around here, you know.
Toby.
Right?
Me and Toby.
Yeah.
Toby and Toby.
This one I think is more a farrier's one. Because when I turn this, every part of the anvil gets used. So you see in all your very fast paintings you watch on at home, right? You see them always using just the top and the horn.
And it's perfectly flat.
So that looks like a horseshoe, doesn't it, curve? So I think this was definitely used to do horseshoes. I'm really sort of like, my spidey things are going for that. But I could be wrong because I've got a real proper blacksmith here. He makes me look flipping. Alright? Now this one's very special. This was made about the end of King Richard III's reign, the beginning of Henry VII's reign. That's how old this is. Now, it hasn't changed.
Maybe if you can dram it.
One bit. Young man, come here. Hold the hammer. Right there. That's where you hold the hammer. Tap it just there.
Dad.
Right. History. You just heard something. Right. Touch it. You touched history. It's not like the museums, is it? You get to play.
She's ready.
She's ready, is she?
Proper ready.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. We'll have a little brief interlude so you can... Oh my God, that is hot today. It's too hot.
Now that's ready.
Yeah, too ready. Right, we ready?
Yep. Fold her over.
I've already fouled her over once.
Fold it over again.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, and just leave it half folded. Like nearly folded over. As we heat it.
The thing is, at the moment, it's still burning through the leather. And as I told you, it's mobile, so it moves around. And so it had been used for jousting, tournaments, battlefield repair work, horseshoeing, anything you can think of. Use your imagination for metal work in that particular time. It probably got done with this. Now, it was founded in the 20th century in Germany.
You want to heat it up gradually?
So it's much travel. What was that? Oh, no, don't talk to me. Bollocks. Excuse my French. But yeah, it would be so much nicer if it could talk to us. But it can't. But the guy who made it, he's put two shield sort of things on there, so obviously it's sort of like he just wanted to decorate it. Now this side here is very, very pretty. It's lovely, wonderful, wonderful. Then there's this one. We reckon he done that one, went up the ale house, had a few of those, and then come back and done that one.
Too many cold snacks.
Yeah.
Just get another.
You've burnt it off. I don't reckon this is going to work, but we'll give it a go, shall we?
Yeah.
Ready? Oh, we got a pot. I think that's a lot out of that bit, isn't it?
Yeah. Sort of.
Mummy.
So should we go straight home?
Yeah.
Right, well, are we okay?
Well, we're going to say goodbye to the 17th century village. Very, very interesting, particularly for me. Hope you found it interesting, and I think we'll be back in the future. So thanks very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.